All right, welcome back, everybody. Man, it feels like it's been forever and since I made a video here, even though it's only really been about 2 weeks, but I've certainly missed it a little bit, but took some time off since the market's been kind of generally kind of slow, just going sideways on the macro stuff lately. So figured I'd take some time to work on some other projects, but let's just jump right into it because I've been waiting to see what we are potentially starting to see right now before even, I don't know, even really talking about anything just yet. So this is Bitcoin over here on the 4 hour, and what we are seeing is we have this little pattern going on right here. And generally speaking, you know, when you come in from the top, bounce around inside here a little bit, usually bumps out the bottom. You know, you usually have a breakout to the downside. Now, the one thing I am somewhat cautious about in regards to that pattern is the fact that, you know, the price is relatively low. Not to say that, you know, we couldn't go any lower or anything like that, but, you know, when you start getting into these areas that a lot of people like haven't even seen since, you know, being in crypto or being in Bitcoin, you know, you start pushing these like 17, 18, 19, 20,000 ranges. Everybody's really starting to wonder, is this the bottom yet? And who knows, that sentiment may be enough to keep it from going too much lower. But what I'm going to look at right now is to see, for starters, is this the bottom? I know the one thing that jumped out the most at me before I drew this pattern, actually just drew that today, is the fact that we have a higher low going on right there. So that's potentially bullish. Generally speaking, you know, if you were kind of bouncing back off the bottom and you get that higher low going in there, that's usually what you're looking for. But that's all going to boil down to what's going on in the macro sense, what's going on in the higher time frame. So over here on the 4 hour, since we're here and starting on it, you know, we do have RSIs coming back together on the way up. So that is at least bullish for the time being. And again, since it's on the 4 hour, it generally takes a while to play out. Speaking of playing out, I forgot to play the music. There we go. First and foremost, really, though, is the money flow. And as you can hopefully see here, you know, we dipped down into the red. We're in the red, starting to curve back up a little bit. It's been a little sketchy lately, though, so I'm not, you know, automatically jumping on the we're going to cross back up into the green train, but we shall see. You know, momentum, dipped down fairly low. Got a couple big green dots over here. But, you know, especially in a bear market, it does not mean you can't get plenty more of them. So we'll see. You know, this one kind of started out with a little hump, but then generally kept that downward angle. The fact that this one's curving back up a little bit, I'm guessing the money flow is going to get into some short choppiness. You know, maybe we take a couple more bounces inside of here. And at that point, we should be able to better judge, you know, which way it is likely to break out. You know, given the way things are right now, I'm not even calling one way or the other just yet. It's still kind of early, but if I had to guess, and that guess would largely be based on some of these higher time frames up here, that there is the potential that, you know, we see a little bit more red candles. And I'll tell you why. So, you know, obviously RSI over here, weak, just bouncing across the bottom. Now, this could be our low point, at least for now. You know, if this does continue up, and even if we do bounce around in here a little bit, this RSI starts kind of trending upward, that gives me a little bit more confidence of a possible breakout to the upside. Or, you know, if the economy and just life and crypto and all that stuff, stocks, kind of stays the way it is and the way it has been going, or God forbid gets worse, and we could just see more sideways action. You know, this pattern isn't really guaranteed. It's just a, hey, we have a couple highs and a couple lows. Let's draw some lines and connect them and see what happens. But, you know, money flow still deep in the red, and this is on the daily. Now we do have a little bit of an uptrend going there. A wee little bit. I mean, you could kind of call that some bullish divergence right here between that and kind of a jacked up one to do, but kind of like that. And if we do see even just a gradual rise, kind of like we've been seeing on the lower time frames a little bit, it would kind of lend more to the sideways action theory right there. Yeah, and VWAP trending up, but not divergent. Getting those higher lows to match. So let's bump up to the weekly. Let's see what's going on. We'll keep zooming out, trying to get a bigger, better picture of what's going on here. And on the weekly, it is still looking atrocious. And that is probably the biggest reason that I'm maybe leaning toward a little bit more to the downside. Because looking over here on the weekly, and I will zoom this in so everybody can see it, whether you're using your phone or your big screen TV. Right here, so we have these guys right here, RSI lines, stochastic and irregular. And when these RSIs come together, like the Beatles, that is strength. So if the RSIs almost appear to be like one single line, like they are on top of each other, that means whatever way you are going, it is fairly strong strength and momentum in that direction. And when they're spread, I'll leave the joke out of that one. When they're spread apart, that is a sign of weakness. So take a little example here, and this is for the people who haven't gone back or, you know, listened to me a bunch or watched, you know, the videos that I made about the RSIs and different strategies and all that good stuff. If you don't know about this is Market Cipher. If you want to learn more, I got plenty of videos, like a what is Market Cipher video, a bunch of different videos where I break down all the different little parts, and I think it's helpful. So if you're interested, go check that out. I mean, at the very least, it will help you to understand what the heck you're looking at. But right here, RSI coming down, spreading apart further as it goes down. You can see price going down. And as we get further and further into that spread, it kind of ran out of gas and started coming back up a little bit. But even as it came back up, it kind of stayed spread. So it really didn't have much strength going to the upside either. And all of this is going to be, you know, dependent upon which way that money flow is going, because the money flow kind of rules them all. It is the king. And so if money flow is going down, RSI overall generally going down, you know, these spreads aren't going to give you like a major macro focus or idea or anything. It's basically just saying, okay, this is starting to spread, we're starting to run out of gas. Start looking for other signs that we might take a little relief break, going to the upside, that kind of thing. So the fact that we've been going down and, you know, we had some spread, it was kind of getting weak. We took a break right here in the middle, but then we just, boom, started coming back together. Kind of has me leaning toward the fact that we may be going down a little bit more. When you add that to the fact that the money flow is still going down, momentum's still going down. And, you know, if you're a perma bull and you don't want to hear any of that bearishness, oh my gosh. If you don't want to hear any of that bearishness, I will say, and this is a very small consolation, is that, you know, it's the weekly chart. There's a whole lot of action in a single candle. And so, you know, it's crypto. Things change fast. You know, a lot could happen within a week. And to also maybe give you a little bit more bullish ammunition, although I'll give you a disclaimer on top of that. But this guy here, which is the VWAP, this yellow line, is trending upward despite price going down. So a little bit of bullish divergence on the VWAP, But once again, you have to remember that, money flow is king. And if money flow is still going down, yeah, you'll get a little bit of a relief. But, it's not necessarily going to just take off back into outer space until we correct that money flow situation. So that's kind of the big view here. I'll show you some of my scribblings as we look at this. So if you don't know, these fantastically colored diagonal dotted lines are spider lines. If you don't know what spider lines are, go back, got a video on it. I think I did a decent job. It was early on in the channel, but it gets the point across, even if I tend to ramble a little bit. But these guys are nice little support resistance lines, as you can see, where you have some confluence, some interaction with the price. The white dotted lines are just kind of meh support resistance ones that got drawn. Not really on this time frame, so it's kind of meaningless on this one. This big rectangle here is the bull market golden pocket, which clearly we have blown past and kept on going. At this point, we may even get close to having to draw more spider lines. But the one thing I wanted to show you is this guy, the Gann square. If you don't know what the Gann square is, basically it's just another fancy little charting tool that can be a little bit tricky to draw, a little bit tricky to place on there. But I think it's actually one of my more popular videos if you want to go back and take a look at that. Not an exact science to it as far as I can tell. I've watched a whole bunch of different videos and stuff on how to draw the Gann square here in TradingView, and I don't know, nobody really gives a great answer, so I just kind of played with it. Found something that, honestly, it's been working for me. If you don't like it, don't use it, but, if you want an idea of how you can use it, I know it's an absolute mess of lines and colors and all that stuff, and you can customize it if you want to, get rid of the colors or whatever, but I like it. This one is kind of my macro Gann square. As you can see, we had the, what do we got? The 3 ring right here, and then our 4 ring out here, and man, came right down, hit off of that one. You can see up here where we hit off of that one, and if I zoom it in a little bit, you can get a little detail here. But keep in mind, so the color change right here, zoom out just, okay, so you can see we had this ring right here jumping into that last arc section. Had a whole lot of support right there between, the spider line, which is almost, I've said this in previous videos, when you have things that intersect. So in this case, you got, the arc on the Gann square right there, and the spider line coming through there. I mean, look at that. We came down almost precisely where they intersect. I mean, really close. So it's interesting how things like that play out. I had the other little spider line support right there. And yet you're always going to get wicks that go a little bit past. That's neither here nor there. And it can change between, the exchange that you are looking at. But support up here at these spider lines. Honestly, I think the second one right here is one that I just threw in that shouldn't technically be there, but I was kind of playing around with stuff and I've just never deleted it. But see what's going on right there, and it's interesting. So this is one of the the Gann fan lines, if you will, as part of that Gann square, and you can see how that played out as well. I mean, look at this, came up, resistance, came up, resistance. I mean, it almost overlays with that little pattern trend line almost exactly. So it can be useful. Once I'll say this, I've said it before, any of these, the little drawing tools that you are using in here, don't always necessarily treat it as gospel. Nothing's going to guarantee that it's going to stop at a line and reverse, but quite often it'll at least take a pause. You might, see a little reversal, or sometimes big reversal, or sometimes you just stop and just hang out along the line. And I was seeing that earlier today. you know, we had a little bit going on right here where we just got a whole lot of sideways action with a whole lot of support on this little Gann arc right there. And then once again, just kept hovering along the other edge of that arc on the Gann square. So I found that quite fascinating, interesting. And you know, and this thing's been on here for good gosh, weeks. I haven't touched this thing in weeks. So I mean, this has been playing out without me adjusting or anything like that. So you know, when you see it come up, take a bounce off of that little fan line, come down, find support off of that arc, finally break through, find support off of that arc, you know, jump back up. Interestingly, right up to this support resistance line. I don't even remember where that's drawn off of. So absolutely, you know, draw your support and resistance. Especially even if you're not trading, even if you're just trying to get a hang of it and learn a little bit and get better and practice, definitely draw your support resistance lines. Check out the fib retracement tools. Check out the Gann squares. The more you can get a feel for it, get a hang of it, and you know, throw it on there and don't change it. Like, throw it on there and just watch how it plays out for a little bit. You don't have to draw it as big as I did on the, you know, the macro scale on the weekly. I mean, you can sit here, you could draw it on the 12-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, whatever you want to do, and just watch and see. Does it play out? Like, oh my gosh, yeah, the price came down and it was finding support at that line that, you know, you drew weeks ago. And when you see that, it helps you build up a little bit more confidence. Like, okay, I must be doing something right. Like, it's playing off it perfectly. And just getting that practice will, you know, make you a little bit better at drawing them, but also make you a little bit more confident in your trading, or, you know, when eventually you do start getting into your trading. So that's kind of what's up. As you can see, we are retracing. We'll see if we come all the way back down once again. If I had to guess, I'd say I'd be leaning toward, you know, maybe putting in like a higher low right there or something, but I am not going to hang around and find out. I'm tired. I was up super late yesterday, so really trying not to stay up again. And tomorrow's Friday. Nobody wants to be dragging ass all day Friday. But real quick, let's take a look and see what ETH is doing. It's doing about the same thing. Classic. About the same thing. Litcoin. I'm going to start calling it Litcoin, even though it's not very lit. About the same, a little stretched out ripple. A bit demure. You know, it doesn't quite have that, didn't get that big pump that Bitcoin and ETH had. Polkadot. Whoa, that was a bigger one though. ADA. Man, I keep seeing Polkadot's been getting hit a little bit, which is kind of interesting because they just had their conference and everything, and there's, you know, still quite a bit of hype going around it. And I mean, personally, I don't know, I'm a fan of it. But might as well come buy me some Polkadot in the single digits. Man, I think I got mine for like 12, 14 or something like that way back in the bull market. Solana at 33. Vet at 2 pennies. What else is going on? What do we got? Cartesi. Hanging in there a little bit. Man, that was a nice pump. What was that? Damn, I'm kind of mad I missed on that one. 10%? That would have been a nice one. Let's see, Doge. What's Doge doing? Same. Shiba. A little worse. Anybody in the green here? Oh, candy cane wave. Not too much. All right, before we wrap this up, why in the heck is this white? There we go. Yikes, that's bright. Real quick, we'll take a look at coin market cap and see what's going on with everybody. So big gainer on the day, Sandbox. Okay, Solana coming in at number 2. Algorand, yeah, we just looked at those guys. Stellar, I think I got a notification for Stellar on my phone. I just stopped paying attention to it, even though I think I have some. Axie Infinity, and we're getting down into the 1%. Atom. Tron, a lot of stuff going on with Tron lately. A lot of hype, a lot of, been seeing a little positive news here and there. Plus, you know, they're making big moves. They're doing the stablecoin thing. Hopefully trying to learn off of others' mistakes. Top gravity post. I don't want to click more. It's going to open a new window. I saw something about VeChain. What's up with VeChain? No, keep moving. VeChain Foundation. Oh, just top accounts. Yeah, whatever. Trending Shiba Inu on the trending list. SoCal token. Yeah, nobody cares. All right, I'm going to leave it at that real quick. Just if you're still watching, do a little recap here. Let's go up to the 6 hour just to leave you with the macro sense. So you're not getting too tunnel visioned into the immediate, I don't know, micro short term. Yep, do have potentially some upward trendiness going on, which can be nice, you know. And over here on the 6 hour, you know, before it's going to play out on the weekly or the monthly, it's going to play out here. And so if we are going to get a turnaround, you know, you tend to see it in the hourlies first, and maybe not the low hourlies, but definitely the upper hourlies. Let's see, this guy's a little bit different, a little bit concerning is the money flow. Now on the 12 hour, you can see, you know, where we came down, got rejected, potentially could be coming down again. We'll see how this plays out. You know, if this comes up, which I haven't seen it go up that sharp at all on higher time frames lately, so I'm not holding my breath there. But you know, if this turns into a little trigger wave, you know, that could be some nice uptrend action and maybe a potential, I say breakout to the top, but I'm not really getting my hopes up on like a breakout. If anything, you know, maybe a nice little uptrend before we get back to sideways action. But we'll see. You know, main thing is we want to keep putting in higher lows. Keep putting in higher lows. You're in an uptrend. You're in an uptrend long enough. You're in a bull market, and everybody's happy. So, but before all that happens, I'm trying to get it for cheap. So, we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys later. 22 minutes, man, that's a fast one for me. All right, I don't know. Stop by, say hi, say what's up. Where are you from? How's it going? How's your gas prices? Remember, go check out the trading psychology videos that I did. I think there's a playlist. Well, there's only 3 of them, but I think it's good stuff. It's if nothing else, it's at least interesting. And part of that is, remember, be a badass. Even if you only got to be a badass in your own mind before you can, you know, walk the walk. That's all right. You know, own the world around you. Be the boss. All right. Everybody have a fantastic day, especially going into the weekend. Coming up on July 4th. Have a blast.